a video on something I want to have a faff around with. So I want to have a go at Panzanella Salad, the stale bread and tomato and cucumber salad. I've had it, it's nice, but I wanted to just have a go at myself, and there's something in my brain that I need to have a think about, so I'm going to have a go. And I was kind of thinking, it's a bit wet and it's a bit soggy. What we can do is, so I've got some bread for the next project. I'm saying too much. So this was the no knead bread that I made using fast acting yeast. So I'm going to use that up. So I thought it was a good opportunity to use that up. I'm going to fry it in oil, crisp it up so it's crunchy. That will kind of compensate for the salad being a bit wet. And then I was kind of thinking, well, let's remove some of the liquid from the tomatoes and the cucumber as well. And I've got this oil that I've got, which is some sun-dried tomatoes, so there'll be more flavour in there. And then we'll put in I've got some homemade vinegars, so we'll put those in as well. So, but what I want to do is I want to take these seeds out of the tomatoes and the cucumber. So, relatively, I bought some heirloom? I don't know. Some tomatoes from the fruit and veg shop this morning. So heirloom. I don't know. So let's take the centre out of that. So that's going to be drier, and then we're going to salt that as well. So let's cut them into bite-sized pieces. So that way, and then that way, and then that way. So they're about edible size. So these. Let's do the same with these fine tomatoes. So a bit of a faff to de-seed everything, but you get the kind of idea. And then we'll get rid of that excess liquid. But what we're going to do is we're going to extract that liquid, and we might use that in the dressing. So that's about too big, so that in half. And then these ones, what we'll do is we will do that. And then we can just squeeze the seeds out of those. So just scrape out the seeds like that to get rid of excess seeds, because we don't want the seeds. And then we'll in half like that, so they're a bit the size. So I'll do that with all those, and then what we're going to do with the cucumber is just whip off the end. Each one of those, there's no kind of set recipe for this. So it's kind of what tomatoes you've got and what cucumber you've got in my eyes, and what bread you've got and anything else around the house. And then I want to do something with some chorizo. So I'm going to put chorizo in it as well. I'm going to fry the chorizo and put that in it. So we're going to get rid of cucumber seeds as well out of there. So just a simple case of scraping that out, and then we'll puree that up and extract the juice out of that. So that like that. So that gets rid of the excess more water, and we're going to save the stalks as well, running out of space. So what we're going to do with that, so I suppose like that, and then like that, I think. So I'll carry on and I'll prep everything, and then we'll put it in a bowl, and then we're going to put some salt on it, and we're going to leave it overnight to macerate, as you kind of like. And then what I'll do is that will draw it out, that will soften the fruit, and it will draw out the moisture as well, so we'll have a different kind of texture. So we'll just kind of see, it's just me having a bit of faff around. Those can go to compost. Right, so everything is chopped, and I put in the stalks as well, because there's flavour in the stalks. So do I want to use free running salt, or do I want to use this salt here? Let's use this salt. I'm not really a fan of free running salt. It's about that much, I think. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. It'll take longer for this rock salt to kind of start drawing the moisture out of the vegetables. Vegetables. No, the fruits. It'll take a little while longer because the salt will need to melt, but it's a better salt, so that'll be fine. So I'll leave that. I'll stir it I'll give it a keeper. I'll keep turning it, tossing it now and again over the next few hours. But I'm going to leave that for 24 hours. I'll put some pepper in. I'll put some pepper in now, and the pepper will do that job. And a little bit more salt, I think. Yeah, so let's move that all around. And then all the flavours will start combining, and everything will start softening. And then, oh, I'm not set up, I need to pause the video. So that out of the way, that can go in the fridge. I think I'm just slightly concerned that I don't want it to deteriorate, because it's summer now, so it might just want to deteriorate. So it'd be better if it wasn't in the fridge, but this time of year I'm going to put it in the fridge. But I need to get some stuff out because I need to do something with those tomato bits. Right, so this is the insides of the cucumber and the tomato. So let's pure this up. I think I might pour it over the other bit, over the fruit actually. But anyway, so let's pure it first. So, yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Let's get the tomatoes and cucumber out of the oven. And let's pour that over that oven. Why am I saying oven? What's wrong with me today? It's because I'm doing two things at once. So, we just want the juice. So, we're going to strain the juice out of it. So, let's see, if you'd have made the salad and not removed the insides of the tomatoes or cucumber, all that would have... I'm boiling some milk on the back of the stove and it's about to boil over if I'm not careful. So all that juice would have made it soggy. But let's put that in there. And that juice will combine, and then we might be able to do something with that juice. So the juice that comes out of the tomatoes, and that will combine, and we might actually be able to turn that into a bit of a soup. Like a consomme. Maybe. There we go. So we thought something. So that's going to go into there, and then that will all marinate together. It'll slowly go through that sieve. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But there we go. So we'll leave that draining happily for 24 hours onto there, and then we'll have a look at it later. So they've had about 15 hours in the fridge. Let's have a look at them. Ah, right, okay, so lots of juices want to come out. Let's just get a plate over there. Lots of juices kind of come out combined. I've turned it over a few times. The fruit has slightly macerated, so these... That's vastly improved flavour. That's delicious. That's good. That's really good. That's really good. Now, that's too wet. So, let's drain off the juice. Like that. Let's pick out these bits of stalk because they have done their job. So let's go on the compost. There will be one or two more bits in there, I'm sure. And then let's transfer that like that way. If we don't want it wet, we want to add things to it. So that in there like that, and then that over the top. There was no real reason for doing that, other than the juice will collect in the bottom of there. That's it. No, that's okay. Oh, that's a concern. I actually need to put something in the bottom of that pan just so that those don't sit. So we don't want the fruit sitting on the juice anymore. We want the juice to drain out. So we'll just put a plate in the bottom, then that can rest on there, and then the excess juice from these. Oh, it's been another. There we go. Don't want that. Right, so they can drain out, and then we'll give that a while back in the fridge. And then what we'll do next is we'll fry some. I was thinking we'll do the salad two ways. So we'll do it with fried breadcrumbs, and then we'll just do it with cubes of bread, cubes of stale bread, and we'll see. We'll do a bit of a comparison, and then I've got some chorizo, which I'm doing for something else. So we'll put some chorizo in as well. I think it makes a bit of chorizo, and then we'll do. Oh, we never tasted that juice, don't we? Let's just put that on there. See how this juice tastes. Let's get a spoon and see how that tastes. I think this will be amazing. See, that's amazing as well. That's amazing. So I do like that. I do like when we can get a bit of a 2 for 1. So just put that on there, just to stop it getting too much of a fridgy smell, because fridges have got a bit of smell to them. So that back in the fridge until we're ready to use it. Fry some breadcrumbs. We'll fry a bit of chorizo, but that's just an added optional extra. So this is the chorizo that I've just lightly fried. I didn't want it crispy on the outside. I just wanted to cook it a little bit, so it's got a little bit of colour, and we've rendered some of that fat out of it. So all that lovely chorizo is going to go into the salad, because I've got it and we're going to use it, and I'm going to use that fat for something else. So this part of the video will appear in 2 separate videos, if they both work. Mind you, no, because even if our videos don't work, I always publish them, because everything is a learning experience, isn't it? So it's just gently fried, just got a little bit of colour on it, not too much, and then that should be nice in that Italian salad, even though we're using a Spanish cured sausage. So how are we going to do this? The tomatoes and cucumber are up to room temperature, so they're out of the fridge. I fried some bread off in some of the oil from the sun-dried tomatoes, and then I've just drained it on a bit of paper, because the oil that obviously when you cook making the breadcrumbs in the croutons in oil, you're kind of cooking it and it changes the flavour. So I didn't want that oil, too much of that oil. I want to be able to add more of that oil from the sun-dried tomatoes, and then I've fried off those chorizos, which I'm going to add. So I'm going to do it 2 ways. Oh yeah, and we've got just some cubes of bread which I've had out, and they're just a little bit stale. So they're probably going to be crispy, just dried out in the oven. And then this is the juice from the bottom of all the liquid that came out of the tomatoes and cucumber. That's particularly delicious. That would be great in a Bloody Mary. That's lovely, is that? So I think we'll use that a bit of that as the base of the dressing for the salad, I think. Oh, and we've got some homemade red wine vinegar as well, which has been in the cupboard for ages. So I'm going to do half the salad with croutons, crispy fried croutons, and half with the dried bread, but all of it with the chorizo. Yeah, so how am I going to do it? Let's make a bit of dressing. Or should we dress the... Let's dress that first. Let's dress that. So... two of those. One, two, three and a bit. And then a bit more salt. And a bit more pepper. Not too much, because the chorizo is a bit... The chorizo is a bit salty. And then some of that as well. And then give that a mix around. Yeah, that's alright, isn't it? So, now I'm eating it, so I'm going to use my hands. What we're going to do. So let's split it into 2. Not that one, use that. Well, let's put half of it in there. A little bit more. And some of the juice. Like that. And then croutons in this one, only croutons. Half of those. Not much. I think it needs to sit for a little while so that the bread's got a little bit of chance to soak everything up. So I'm not gonna add the chorizo. I was thinking it would be nice, since we're gonna put the chorizo in, it'd be nice to have fried the bread in the chorizo fat. But I'm using the chorizo fat for something else. So that into the bowl, and then for the purpose of easy to mix, put that into there, like that. Making a mess of everything. I'm not very well prepared about this. I've been swimming and I'm a little bit tired, and that's going to be my excuse today. I'm about a similar amount of bread like that. And mixy, and then just give that bread a little bit of time to soak up that juice. So we'll taste now. Put half, no, let's not put half that chorizo in. I'm going to have the chorizo in it. Does that want more bread? Don't know. Not soggy. It needs a bit more vinegar. So it's just a simple case of seasoning as we go. I need another spoon. Okay. A little bit more salt. How's that taste? It's nice because it's not soggy bread, which is not what we wanted. So that's that one. How does this taste? It needs a bit more oil. It needs a bit more vinegar. That's probably a little bit too much. Need that back there. That. That's good. I think getting rid of the tomato seeds and the cucumber seeds is the way to go. Otherwise it's just too wet. You know, like the bread's just going to be horrible and soggy. What all it's really done is just soaked up the dressing. And the cucumber and tomatoes have already picked up the flavour of each other because they've been marinated for 24 hours. So I think that's the way to go, because otherwise all that liquid's going to be in your salad, and that's not what you want, really. You don't want it to be too wet. But I think croutons are the way to go, like crispy croutons. Still crunchy are the way to go. Well, and then half the chorizo in there, and then we'll give it a taste. So it's is it Spanish or is it Italian with the chorizo added? Let's get a bit of everything. That's good. Not so welcome addition as that. So, that's good, is that? That's good. I think that's the way to do it. I think not too much liquid. Yeah, so all that liquid's been soaked up by the bread. And it's soft, but it's not soggy. And I'll do something else with that. So yeah, there we go. That's how I do that. And that's really nice, is that? You don't have to use chorizo. You could use an Italian salami and do exactly the same. That's lovely, is that? That's lovely. I'm going to enjoy that for my tea. Oh. Your choices are crispify the breadcrumbs. So they go soak up some juice but still crunchy. Now listen. So it's still crunchy. Just good quality bread. And dry the bread out as well as letting it go stale. And then it soaks up all that lovely dressing. And I think removing the seeds from the tomato and the cucumber cut down on the wetness of the salad. Because you don't want a soggy salad, do you? No. There we go, that's lovely. I think that's a success. And a nice variation on a classic salad.